throwing the game, bro. You're throwing the game.
Dragon, watch out!
Throwing the game, bro.
Good to be back, at least for a while. So let's talk a little bit about Rundown 7. And let's start on a good note to not be so pessimistic about the whole thing. The rundown, it's fun. And I'm not tweaking when I'm saying it, it's genuinely fun. The rundown actually gets interesting early on from B3 and onwards, which makes, the overwhelming majority of the levels actually good and, well, replayable. Level design is probably at its best this rundown. Sometimes some things might seem simple, like B3PE, but it's lovely having side objectives just ping-ponging you around between the complex and other dimensions, which is kinda like the gimmick on this rundown. And talking about dimensions, in C2 there's a new desert room, let's just call it that, and it's beautiful, but this is the first time ever that in a level we get teleported or we do something and it gets partially done and it just pulls you back in, so you have to finish it later in the extreme, which is really awesome. That's the first time you have to do something like this in this game, and I hope they keep improving on that, even though it's as simple as a terminal command. Even though Rundown 7 is the same old objectives that we've been playing for the past 2 years, they mix the environments a lot on the levels, with dig site and refinery, floodways and gardens, and even though there's a lot of recognizable rooms, the healthy enemy roster that's present makes it so that everybody on the team will bring something different, especially since most of the broken hell weaponry is out of the picture, and it honestly makes playing the level a lot of fun, which is a good thing. Now, the new member of the Sleeper family, the Snatcher, he's the most fun enemy in the game, hands down. He's so simple yet so funny. And the fun moments that you get from him when you're playing with friends and all, it's just priceless. I just love him. There really isn't anything to add to him. Oh shit! Oh my! Bro, who put this shit on the primary slot, bro? What the fuck? Guns are fun in R7 because everything is borderline broken. Hell Shotgun is basically a better combat shotgun, and in the primary slot, allowing you to bring whatever special you desire, which is good for variety. But if you watch any of my videos of me talking about weaponry, then you know that I hate Hell weaponry in the primary slot because it's often just too broken, and Hell Shotgun is the new addition to it. Buffing Machine Gun was a mistake, since it was fine the way it was, but they just had to nerf Heavy AR to make it more competitive when you put them alongside each other. But now it's the other way around. Unlike R6, which was a Heavy AR spam, now everybody's running Machine Gun. And there's just too many specials doing the same job. We have Pump Shotty, Choke Mod, High Caliber Pistol, which all play almost the same, and they all do similar jobs. And there's too many primaries which are similar to each other, like Carbine, PDW, and SMG. And they all almost behave the same, except for, well, PDW with the thermal scope, which is cool. You have to flex it, you gotta put one in the primary, the other one in the secondary. And there's just too much of, well, the same type of guns in the same rundown, all clustered together, which is kinda weird. Man, I want some of that crack thing chamber smoking when they were balancing the tools this rundown. Instead of bug fixing the shotgun sentry, they decided to go the modding route by increasing the fire rate and giving it a shit ton of ammo. And they didn't even give it enough ammo, they half-assed it. If you don't know, all sentries share the same AI, which is fine for burst out on sniper, but for shotgun sentry we need to shoot center mass to be effective, it just doesn't work. The same hitbox that applies to players applies to shotgun sentry too, and it just wasted ammo, being literally quite useless than before. There's a reason why on modded rundown they buffed the shotgun sentry so much with damage and pellet count, so once they put it down, you know it's gonna one shot with at least the 3 pellets that it might hit the striker with. Sentry Symbiosis just made Sniper Sentry the best sentry in the game. Again, it shoots so fast that it shoots the dead body by mistake, which is kinda funny to be honest, and you can clearly tell they felt the need to rush this feature since apparently it was supposed to be in R6 alongside with priority ping. But instead, they rushed it without any proper testing and broke the whole sentry balance. Funnily enough, they removed the priority ping because they obviously forgot to program a different type of ping that will actually trigger the symbiosis, and instead, as long as an enemy is tagged, it just triggers symbiosis, which break the whole thing. Like, my god, man. So even though I consider Rundown 7 balance somewhat broken and samey when it comes to weapon picks, it's still damn fun, which is probably the most important part that you as a player should consider. You can clearly tell that the ghosts from the past are chasing the chambers right now, and it shows. This rundown is probably the most broken out of all the rundowns I've played throughout since, well, 2019. Performance is down the drain, not only on the new environment but on the majority of levels. They have alpha dimensions in it, D1 being notoriously broken with the objective being bugs spawning multiple snatchers instead of the one that's actually intended. D1 again having a memory leak that stacks up and crashes people's game or breaks somebody else's computer. Checkpoints making levels uncompletable and just keep adding to the list, keep adding to the list. Like holy moly. And that's not even talking about, matchmaking, which was forgotten since the day it was released pretty much. So the bugs are terribly affecting the game right now. And the fact that newcomers are actually making reviews and posts about, 2-year-old bugs that should have been fixed in early access really brings me happiness, because that means that the public sees it and not the same 1,000 people that have been playing the game, like me, like some of the members of the community. And that means that, they're gonna be forced to actually do something about it. Hopefully. Since we're on the bad section, if you're watching the clip right now, you'll notice there's this great tank that's following the team around. Well, that's the Immortal. The one mysterious monster that people have been waiting for like 2 years. Yeah, he's just a tank variant. If that's not laziness, then I don't know what it is. Diluted progress. That's how I would put Rundown 7 as. You make progress, but it just gets watered down by all the long-lasting bugs and performance issues that the game currently has. And honestly, I know it's pessimistic, I don't see them patching the game substantially this rundown. We will most likely gonna have to wait for Rundown 8 to actually get some decent bugs ironed out, especially the sniper melee networking issue that we currently have, and it's honestly kinda sad because the rundown itself is actually pretty good. The levels are interesting, the lore is not boring, exposition the last 20 minutes on every door like in R6. They actually added a new enemy, 2-year wait finally. The difficulty I think is in the right spot. Everybody can play it. If you're a newcomer, you have a challenging experience, and if you're a long time player like me, then it's entertaining to play. There's a lot of interesting concepts in the levels that make the level fun. It's a rundown that everybody can enjoy, but due to the things I've mentioned before, I just cannot tell people to get the game or give this rundown a good review per se because of how broken everything is. And this is the first time I ever said something like this in a review. It's just kind of depressing. So hopefully 10 Chambers will manage to turn this one around in a patch or two. But until then, see you in the next video.